Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, now we're here to look at the last week of July. This has been a pivotal month, and I'm glad to be finished with it. And I hope that everything turns out better than I suspect. So we're going to see. So I am looking at July 21st. This is a Monday. Remember what I'm doing here. I'm looking at where the moon is relative to all the other planets. This tells us how everyone's feeling in the world. This is the outcome of the emotional feelings of people going on globally in the world. So I am in Central Time Zone. And I want you to tell me in the comments below where you are. But in the Central Time Zone, adjust where you are. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be an hour later. If you're on the West Coast, it's going to be 2 hours earlier. So be aware of that. Okay, so let me continue on with July 21st. It's a Monday. Mars and Ketu are conjunct. Wow. And they were exact on the 20th, but they're still here. It's still going on. This is anger, intensity, war. It's just a tense time globally in the world. I can't tell you. Now, the moon is still in Taurus today. Will be in Taurus almost all day. So yeah, it will be in Taurus all day. So looking at that, the moon is actually conjunct Venus. And this will be the exact conjunction around 3 p.m. Central Time, which is actually quite lovely. Hopefully this can offset some of the destruction that the Mars-Ketu is acting out. Jupiter in the second house can deal with financial matters. Things are changing. Jupiter is in Ardra, but it can be an opportunity. Now the Sun, Mercury are in the third house. Mercury is retrograde. I don't know if I remembered to tell you that on July 18th it turned retrograde. So be aware, things are intensely crazy now. So I want you to really take care of yourself and be aware. Even though, you know, Venus with the moon, it could be a good time for romance, love. You could meet somebody, but still, stay away from crowds, stay away from hostile people. Anywhere there might be a protest going on, stay away. People are not in their right minds at all. So that's what I'm seeing with this day. Let's go to July 22nd, which is Tuesday. I see where the moon has shifted into Gemini, which makes us more communicative, but it is in the nakshatra Ardra with Jupiter. Ardra's a teardrop. There is some sadness. There are problems going on, and things, like I said before, underneath the surface. Really, there are some things that we can't see that are brewing. And let me just say, the Mars-Ketu are in the third house from the moon. Therefore, it's not a good time to converse with others. People are too angry. And your brothers and sisters you might have arguments with as well. Now, looking at where Saturn is. Saturn, Neptune are in the 10th house from the moon. And this represents major problems. So, especially with government and leadership, this is a difficult time for world leaders. And really, all around the world in every way. So, I want everyone to take heed of the hostility and the anger that's still brewing around the world. I wish I could be a little bit more optimistic. I will next month. Okay, so let's move to the next day, which is July 23rd. It's a Wednesday. The moon is in Gemini all day, and thank goodness it's in a much better nakshatra than Ardra. It's in Purnavasu, and Purnavasu means return of the light. So hopefully this means the light returns and things can start to look better, although that Mars-Ketu are still together. So I think there's hope in the air, whether we have it or not. It's hard to say, but Mars-Ketu being in the third house, it's not a good time to travel. Please don't be traveling with that. The third house is travel, and Rahu's in the ninth. Stay home. And that actually goes for the day before too, the 22nd. But governments are having major problems with Saturn in the 10th house. It's not a good time to expand in your business either. If you're looking at your business, stay low. Don't do anything drastic at this time. So now I am looking at July 24th. It's a Thursday, and the moon has moved into Cancer. Will be in Cancer all day, and it is in the nakshatra Pusha. Pusha is a very good nakshatra. It can mean the nurturer, but one thing I got to say about the moon being in Cancer, it deals with the need for protection. I hope that's not because of some terrorist attacks that are going on. Could very well be. We need protection. We need security. That's Cancer. And with Mercury retrograde, that doesn't help one bit either. Okay, so everything's confusing. People, there's going to be problems with electronics, electricity, as well as computers. So there's going to be outages in so many ways. That's what I'm seeing with this Mercury retrograde. And also with this, Mars-Ketu go to the second house. This can be some major drops with economic problems in the economy. Just be aware of that for sure. And there can be some problems around your family. Second house deals with family matters, so be aware of that too. All right, so today is the new moon. And with a new moon, it means it's a new start, but it's too new. In other words, the moon is still very dark. So there's nothing that really comes out of it yet. But you can mark that this is a turning point, especially a turning point with, I'm going to say, the need for protection and security in the world, with them both being in Cancer and being in the nakshatra Pusha, which is about protection. And it is also about nurturing. So people are really waking up to that they need protection and nurturing. So please be aware that this new moon starts a better need for how we're going to find security throughout the world. Yes. So now I'm looking at July 25th. It's a Friday. And the moon will still be in Cancer most all of the day. And let's see, towards the end of the day, it will be Gandanta. And that's not till the next day. Good. All right, so the whole day it is in Cancer, and it's in the nakshatra Aslesha. Remember, Aslesha is the snake. That's the symbol for Aslesha. So it pretty much is about sneaky people that want to trick us. Be very aware. Now the moon is still in Cancer, representing we need protection, we need security. Mercury is still in the same sign of the moon, and it's a little bit confusing. Not a little bit, it's a lot. But the Mars-Ketu being in the second house from the sun and the moon, and Mercury represent problems in the economy. Things are going haywire. So maybe it's like, watch what happens. The economy, stock market, things are going crazy. And things are going crazy anyway in the world at large. The Venus just entered into Gemini today, and that can be a good thing as it gets closer and closer to Jupiter, but this is not right away. But things about relationships and love and romance are going to improve as Venus starts to really take foot in Gemini, because it deals with being able to communicate with people better. Yes, but still, let's see, Saturn is in the 9th house with Neptune, so people are really confused about their belief systems right now. People are in a state of confusion right now. Now let's go to Saturday. I'm looking at Saturday, July 26th. And I'm looking at, let me back this up to the middle of the day. So I'm looking at, well, good, Saturday the 26th, the moon will be in Leo. I don't know how good that is. I spoke before, I should have. But what I was looking at, that it left Cancer, it's in Leo. But it's starting to approach the Ketu Mars. This is not good. So I spoke way too soon at the beginning. So moon in Maga. This is a serious nakshatra ruled by Ketu. I think something treacherous can happen around this time, and we still have Mars in Leo, and we have Mercury retrograde. There's so much confusion in the world, but people are getting really angry now with the moon approaching Ketu, and it will eventually cross over Mars. I don't like that at all. This feels really bad. So Saturn's in the 8th house. There can be some treacherous events that happen, deep-seated, things we can't see happening under the ground. Remember what I said in one of my videos about, oh yeah, there can be explosive events under the ground that we can't see. This can deal with subways. Stay away from big cities. Any city that has a subway, be cautious, get away from anywhere where there can be explosive events. This is danger. I don't care where all the other planets are, this bothers me a lot. So I'm looking at the 26th, yes. And here's another thing. You know, the Sun is in opposition to Pluto. And actually, it was exact the day before, the 25th. So Pluto, Sun, this can be attacks on presidents or leaders, governments. This looks serious. Let's move forward to Sunday, July 27th. It's starting to make me not feel good, but the moon is in Leo, and it's lining up with the Ketu Mars in Purva Falguni. This nakshatra is generally a good one, but I can't say it's good with two malefics, Mars and Ketu. And Saturn goes to the 8th house from the moon. This is deep, dark stuff underground we can't see that is going to affect us all. It could be the event that we're concerned about happening either the 25th through the 27th. 26th, it's going to be pretty serious, but I'm looking at the 27th as the moon will cross over Ketu and Mars. This is danger. And I don't like any of this with Pluto, Sun, and Mars, Ketu, Moon. Let me move to the next day. See if it gets better. It does. It gets a little bit better. Why? July 28th, Monday, the Mars will change finally into Virgo. And this means this puts an end to the Kala Sarpa Yoga, which I've been telling you so much about. The Kala Sarpa Yoga is a destiny, a thing that can't be stopped. And I think all the way up into this time, the destiny is unfolding. And now it's like, okay, it's come and it's occurred. This is where we are. The moon Ketu with Mars in the second house still means there's issues going on with economically and then in the economy and money. Don't worry, it's not going to stay this way for long, but for right now we're there. And I'm looking at the sun behind the moon with Mercury. There's a lot of things hidden we can't see that are evolving, but let me just say this, by 2 p.m. Central Time Zone, the moon will shift into Virgo. And during this time, it will be in Uttara Falguni, easier nakshatra. Uttaras are always easier than Purvas, so it's easier. But the moon is exactly conjunct Mars today. 0 degrees of Virgo. And the moon is going to eventually move up to oppose Saturn. This is heavy. I don't care if the Kala Sarpa Yoga is over with. This is heavy, heavy stuff going on. People are very concerned. There's stuff going on with world leaders that attacks and problems. Saturn's opposing the moon. This is heavy. People are feeling it. It's depressing. This will take over the lead of anything else. Even though Jupiter, Venus are in the 10th house from the moon, life must go on. And I will say for this, business and businesses will prosper and have to move on. So now I'm looking at Tuesday, July 29th, and the moon is in Virgo. It's moved into Hasta. The hand grasps and holds on to concepts and ideas. It's finished with being on top of Mars. It's still with Mars. But during this day of July 29th, it will oppose Saturn. And that's still this heavy feeling. And with Neptune, heavy feeling, difficult feeling. Things are not right. They're not going to be right for a while after what we're dealing with right now. This is dire times. But with the moon in Hasta, people are thinking for themselves. People are grasping onto new ideas and concepts, even though I think what this is all about, they're facing reality. So now I'm looking at July 30th. The moon is still in Virgo and it moves into the nakshatra Chitra, which is brighter, which is more creative. The moon will be with the Jupiter Venus in the 10th house from the moon. So business and things will improve, start to get better. Yeah, it's got to get better now that we have Mars away from Ketu. Things are improving and getting better. And plus, the moon has bypassed its opposition from Saturn. But I just realized Mars is going to be opposing Saturn in August. Brother, I thought we were going to get a break. We'll be talking about that the first week of August. So let me move this to the last day. The last day, July 31st, the moon will be in Libra the whole entire day. And what's nice about this is the Jupiter, Venus are in the 9th house from the moon. This might be okay. Things are letting up in the area of traveling. Yes. even though Jupiter's still in Ardra. Yikes. Still, you know, the whole month of July, we're not getting a real break here. But the moon is in Chitra most of the day. By 2 p.m. Central Time, it will go into Swati, which is the business nakshatra. So it is a good day to do business, get things done. The world hasn't come to an end. It's just people have been angry and they're exhausted now. The anger has to let up at some point. People can't stay angry their whole lives, and they won't. But looking at this, the Saturn-Neptune go to the 6th house. It is a time to work harder on our health, to get healthier, and do more work to get things done, because I think things might have been delayed, but we still have Mercury retrograde. There are some issues with the Mercury retrograde still going on with connections, computers, and all of the travel plans. Yeah, even though things will improve some. And the moon, let's see, the sun and Mercury are in the 10th house from the moon. So yes, business matters will get on track. Even though Mercury's retrograde, it's a time to review, reassess, and do things right when it comes to our businesses and our personal lives, for that matter. Mars is in the 12th house, so do be cautious that with Mars in the 12th, you might find people are getting a little bit more hostile at work and people are not in agreement. Maybe your coworkers, and if you have a business, your employees. This will intensify going on into the first week of August. But overall, what a sigh of relief to get Mars out of Leo with Ketu and all that I see happening in the month of July. And this will be better. So thank you for listening to this entire month of July. I know it hadn't been easy to listen to, but we got to face reality. And now that we know what we're dealing with, now we can heal and move on to a much better time and place in our lives and in the world. So with that, if you would like to learn more about me, go to my website. Go to galacticcenter.org, where you can find out about my Patreon, my free newsletter that you can sign up for, and of course, the Galactic Planner, which is all about what I'm doing here. But for you personally, with your own birth chart, you'll want the planner. I'm serious. It is a great tool for being guided by the stars. And one last thing. If you want to learn how to do astrology, take my classes, become my student. The new start day is August 6th. So sign up for semester 1 or the whole university. You won't regret it. Come and be my student. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.